Hello, it is my pleasure somewhat to show you a YouTube video that has taken hours of filming and editing. I have called it Job, a YouTube drama. I want to acknowledge God, because without His help I would not have the Holy Book of Job, and without His help I would not be able to act and speak, upload and edit. And so if you appreciate anything in this video, thank God, because I could not do anything good without Him. Job, a YouTube drama, is a reading of the book of Job. It is a great story for every born-again Christian, anyone who suffers from depression, or pain, or loss of a loved one. Its added voice enthusiasm is not meant to be mocking, but meant to bring some livelihood to what many non-believers may find boring, especially in this computer age. It is good for a child to watch, however, there is some graphic language. The drama is quite long, so if you're not willing to watch it all at once, then perhaps you should watch a piece a day. Now, I am aware that this video has problems. Nevertheless, please try to enjoy it. Without further ado, here it comes, God willing. There lived in the land of Oz a man of blameless and upright life named Job, who feared God and set his face against wrongdoing. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters, and owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 asses, with a large number of slaves. Thus Job was the greatest man in all the East. Now his sons used to foregather and give, each in turn, a feast in his own house, and they used to send and invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. Then, when a round of feasts was finished, Job sent for his children and sacrificed them, rising early in the morning and sacrificing a whole offering for each of them. For he thought that they might somehow have sinned against God and committed blasphemy in their hearts. This he always did. The day came when the members of the court of heaven took their places in the presence of the Lord, and the adversary was among them. The Lord asked him where he had been. Ranging over the earth, he said, from end to end. Then the Lord said to the adversary, Have you considered my servant Job? You will find no one like him on earth, a man of blameless and upright life, who fears God and sets his face against wrongdoing. The adversary answered the Lord, Has not Job good reason to be God-fearing? Have you not hedged him round on every side with your protection, him and his family and all his possessions? Whatever he does you have blessed, and his hordes you have increased beyond measure. But stretch out your hand and touch all he has, and then he will curse you to your face. Then the Lord said to Satan, So be it. All that he has is in your hands. Only Job himself you must not touch. Then the adversary left the Lord's presence. When the day came that Job's sons and daughters were eating and drinking in the eldest brother's house, a messenger came running to Job and said, The oxen were plowing, and the asses were grazing near them, when the Sabaeans swooped down and killed them off, after putting the horsemen to the sword. And I am the only one to escape and tell the tale. When he was still speaking, another messenger arrived and said, God's fire flashed from heaven. It struck the sheep and the shepherds and brought them up, and I am the only one to escape and tell the tale. While he was still speaking, another arrived and said, The Chaldeans, 3 bands of them, have made a raid on the camels and killed them off, after putting the drivers to the sword. And I am the only one to escape and tell the tale. While this man was speaking, yet another arrived and said, Your sons and daughters were eating and drinking in your elder brother's house, when suddenly a whirlwind swept across the desert and struck the 4 corners of the house. And it fell on the young people and killed them, and I am the only one to escape and tell the tale. At this Job stood up and rent his cloak. Then he shaved his head and fell prostrate on the ground, saying, Naked I came from the womb, naked I shall return whence I came. The Lord gives, and the Lord takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Throughout all this, Job did not sin. He did not charge God with unreason. Once again the day came when the members of the court of heaven took their places in the presence of the Lord. And Satan was there among them. The Lord asked him where he had been. Ranging over the earth, he said, from end to end. Then the Lord asked the adversary, Have you considered my servant Job? You will find no one like him on earth, a man of blameless and upright life, who fears God and sets his face against wrongdoing. You incited me to ruin him without a cause, but his integrity is still unshaken. The adversary answered the Lord, skin for skin. There is nothing the man will grudge to save himself, but stretch out your hand and touch his bone and his flesh, and see if he will not curse you to your face. Then the Lord said to Satan, So be it, he is in your hands, but spare his life. Then Satan left the Lord's presence, and he smote Job with running sores from head to foot, so that he took a piece of broken pot to scratch himself as he sat among the ashes. Then his wife said to him, Are you still unshaken in your integrity? Curse God and die. But he answered, You talk as any fool of a woman may talk. If we accept good from God, shall we not accept evil? Throughout all this, Job did not utter one sinful word. When Job's 3 friends, Eliphaz of Teman, Bildad of Shua, and Zophar of Naaman, heard of all these calamities which had overtaken him, they left their homes and arranged to come and condole with him, and comfort him. But when they first saw him from a distance, they did not recognize him. They wept aloud, rent their cloaks, and tossed dust into the air over their head. For 7 days and 7 nights they sat beside him on the ground, and none of them said a word to him, for they saw that his suffering was very great. After this, Job broke silence and cursed the day of his birth. may the day of my birth perish. And the night it was said, a boy is born that day. May it turn to darkness. May God above not care about it. May no light shine upon it. May darkness and deep shadow claim it once more. May a cloud settle over it. May blackness overwhelm its light. That night, may thick darkness seize it. May it not be included among the days of the year, nor be entered in any of the months. May the night be barren. May no shout of joy be heard in it. May those who curse days curse that day. Those who are ready to rouse Leviathan, may its morning stars become dark. May it wait for daylight in vain, and not see the first rays of dawn. For it did not shut the doors of the womb on me, to hide trouble from my eyes. Why did I not perish at birth, and die when I came out of the womb? Why were there knees to receive me, and breasts that I might be nursed? For now I would be lying down in peace. I would be asleep and at rest, with kings and counselors of the earth, who built for themselves palaces now lying in ruins, with rulers who had gold, who filled their houses with silver. Or why was I not hidden in the ground like a stillborn child, like an infant who never saw the light of day? There the wicked cease from turmoil, and there the weary-eyed rest. Captives also enjoy their ease. They no longer hear the slave drivers shout. The small and great are there, and the slave is freed from his master. Why is light given to those in misery, and life to the bitter of soul? To those who long for death that does not come, who search for it more than hidden treasure, who are filled with gladness and rejoice when they reach the grave. Why is life given to a man whose way is hidden, whom God has hedged in? For sighing comes to me instead of food. My groans pour out like water. What I feared has come upon me. What I dreaded has happened to me. I have no peace, no quietness, no rest, but only turmoil. If someone ventures a word with you, will you be impatient? But who can keep from speaking? Think how you have instructed many, how you have strengthened feeble hands. Your words have supported those who stumbled. You have strengthened faltering knees. But now trouble comes to you, and you are discouraged. It strikes you, and you are dismayed. Should not your piety be your confidence, and your blameless ways your hope? Consider now, who, being innocent, has ever perished? Where were the upright ever destroyed? As I have observed, those who plow evil and those who sow trouble reap it.
At the breath of God they are destroyed. At the blast of his anger they perish. The lions may roar and growl, yet the teeth of the great lions are broken. The lion perishes for lack of prey, and the cubs of the lioness are scattered. A word was secretly brought to me. My ears caught a whisper of it, amid disquieting dreams in the night, when deep sleep falls on men. Fear and trembling seized me, and made all my bones shake. A spirit glided past my face, and the hair of my body stood on end. It stopped, but I could not tell what it was. A form stood before my eyes, and I heard a hushed voice. Can a mortal be more righteous than God? Can a man be more pure than his Maker? If God places trust in his servants, if he charges his angels with error, how much more those who live in houses of clay, those whose foundations are in the dust, who are crushed more readily than a moth. Between dawn and dusk, they are broken to pieces. Unnoticed, they perish forever. Are not the cords of their tent pulled up, so that they die without wisdom? Call if you will, but who will answer you? To which of the holy ones will you turn? Resentment kills the fool, and envy slays the simple. I myself have seen a fool taking root, but suddenly his house was cursed. His children are far from safety. Crushed in court without a defender, the hungry consume his harvest, taking it even from among the thorns. And the thirsty pant after his wealth. For hardship does not spring from the soil, nor does trouble sprout from the ground. Yet man is born to trouble, as surely as sparks fly upwards. But if it were I would appeal to God. I would lay my cause before him. He performs wonders that cannot be fathomed, miracles that cannot be counted. He bestows rain on the earth, and he sends water upon the countryside. The lowly he sets on high, and those who mourn are lifted to safety. He thwarts the plans of the crafty, so that their hands achieve no success. He catches the wise in their craftiness, and the schemes of the wily are swept away. Darkness comes upon them in the daytime. At noon they grope as in the night. He saves the needy from the sword in their mouth. He saves them from the clutches of the powerful. So the poor have hope, and injustice shuts its mouth. Blessed is a man whom God corrects. So do not despise the discipline of the Almighty. For he wounds, but he also binds up. He injures, but his hands also heal. From 6 calamities he will rescue. In 7 no harm will befall you. In famine, he will ransom you from death, and in battle, from the stroke of the sword. You will be protected from the lash of the tongue, and need not fear when destruction comes. You will laugh at destruction and famine, and need not fear the beasts of the earth. For you have a covenant with the stones of the field, and the wild animals will be at peace with you. You will know that your tent is secure. You will take stock of your property and find nothing missing. You will know that your children will be many, and your descendants like the grass of the earth. You will come to the grave in full vigor, like shafts gathered in season. We have examined this, and it is true, so hear and apply it to yourself. If only my anguish could be weighed, and all my misery be placed on the scales, it would surely outweigh the sand of the seas. No wonder my words have been impiteous. The ills of the Almighty are on me. My spirit drinks in their poison. God's terrors are marshaled against me. Does a wild donkey bray when it has grass, or an ox bellow when it has fodder? It is tasteless food eaten without salt, or is there flavor in the white of an egg? I refuse to touch it. Such food makes me ill. Oh, that I might have my request, that God would grant what I hope for, that God would be willing to crush me, to let loose his hand and cut me off. Then I would still have his condolence. My joy in unrelenting pain, that I had not denied the words of the Holy One. What strength do I have that I should still hope? What prospects that I should be patient? Do I have the strength of stone? Is my flesh bronze? Do I have any power to help myself? Now that success has been driven from me, a despairing man should have the devotion of his friends, even though he forsakes the fear of the Almighty. But my brothers are as undependable as intermittent streams, as the streams that overflow when darkened by thawing ice and swollen by melting snow. But that cease to flow in dry season, and in the heat vanish from their channels. Caravans torn aside from their roots, they go up into the wasteland and perish. The caravans of Timur look for water. Traveling merchants of Sheba look for hope. They are distressed because they had been confident. They arrive there only to be disappointed. Now you too have proved to be no help, and see something dreadful, and are afraid. Have I ever said, give something on my behalf, pay a ransom for me from your wealth? Deliver me from the hand of the enemy, ransom me from the clutches of the ruthless. Teach me, and I will be quiet. Show me where I have been wrong. How painful are honest words. But what do your arguments prove? Do you mean to correct what I say, and treat my words with despairing man as wind? You would even cast lots for the fatherless, and barter away your friend. But now, be so kind as to look at me. Would I lie to your face? Relent. Do not be unjust. Consider, for my integrity is at stake. Is there any wickedness on my lips? Can my mouth not discern malice? Does not man have hard service on earth? Are not his days like those of a hired man, like a slave longing for the evening shadows, or a tired man waiting eagerly for his wages? So I have been allotted months of fidelity, and nights of misery have assigned to me. When I lie down, I think, how long before I get up? The night drags on. I toss till dawn. My body is clothed with worms and scabs. My skin is broken and festering. My days are swifter than a waver's shuttle, and they come to an end without hope. Remember, O God, that my life is but a breath. My eyes will never see happiness again. The eye that now sees me will be no longer. See me no longer. You will look for me, but I will be no more. As a cloud vanishes and is gone, so he who goes down to the grave does not return. He will never come to his house again. His place will know him no more. Therefore, I will not keep silent. I will speak out in anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. Am I the sea, or the monster of the sea, that you have put me under guard? When I think my bed will comfort me, and my couch will ease my complaint, even when you frighten me with dreams, and terrify me with visions, so that I prefer strangling and death, rather than this body of mine. I despise my life. I would not live forever. Let me alone. My days have no meaning. What is man that you make so much of him? That you give him so much attention? That you examine him every morning and test him every moment? Will you never look away from me? Or let me alone even for an instant? If I have sinned, what have I done to you, O watcher of men? Why have you made me your target? Have I become a burden to you? Why do you not pardon my offenses and forgive my sins? For I will soon lie down in dust. You will search for me, but I will be no more.